Did you know that 95% of your responses, feelings, and habits are completely habitual, which means that you don't even think about it when you react? And if you feel like your life isn't really exciting and you're not getting the results that you desire, every single day feels like a repetition of the last, my gorgeous soul, that is not your fault. That is a result of the learned attitudes that have now manifested themselves into your reality, because consciously or subconsciously, your brain has learned to form these habits over time. And the only way for you to reach your goals by creating a completely new life for yourself is to break these habits and patterns. I will show you 8 easy, simple steps that you can implement every single day. And I promise you that if you do these 8 steps every single day, within just 21 days, you will have completely changed your personal reality. You will have formed new healthy habits and completely changed the way that your brain works. So whether you're working a 9 to 5 or you're an entrepreneur like myself running multiple businesses, perhaps you're a student or a busy mom, this will work for you regardless of the type of cycle in life that you're in right now. Attitude and habit change number 1 is to be as cheerful as possible. Let me show you how. Already when you wake up in the morning, think to yourself, the fact that you woke up, it is a huge win. So many people did not wake up this morning, did not have the chance to actually see another day. The fact that you opened your eyes, and if you can actually see, if you've actually been blessed with vision, that is a huge win that so many people on planet Earth could only dream of having. If you were able to get up and walk to your kitchen, walk to the bathroom to brush your teeth all by yourself, you are already blessed beyond measure, and you should be cheerful about the fact that there are so many people for whom what seems to be the norm and what seems to be standard for you is a huge privilege that you have perhaps grown unaware of. But when you become aware of these privileges, life all of a sudden looks like a huge domino effect of wins rather than a series of trials and tribulations. Step number 2, try to act and feel a little bit more friendly towards other people, because sometimes when we go through life, we feel as though everyone is thinking something negative about us for some reason. Ever gone to the grocery store, or you've just left your house and you felt a little bit of hostility. You felt like people are staring at you and you're not sure why, but you feel like for sure it couldn't be something positive, it has to be something negative. Babe, no, stop. People are staring at you because you're gorgeous, because your energy is absolutely mesmerizing, and they are perhaps thinking to themselves, wow, she is really something else in the most positive way. She walks beautifully. She dresses in a very chic, put together, classy way. Wow, her hair looks so healthy and lush. People are not always thinking negatively about you. And when you think positively about how people think about you, you also attract more positive reactions, especially if you're working in a service-based industry. Remember the last time that you were dealing with a client, and before the interaction with the client, you already thought to yourself, oh my God, I need to go into defense mode. I have to defend myself, my position, my company. Perhaps you really made a mistake with their order or with their service, or you weren't able to deliver the result that they had hired you for. And then when that person comes in to talk to you, or you have a phone conversation with them, actually they are completely warm, welcoming, and understanding, and it's almost like it takes you by surprise. You're like, wait, what? Rather than going into defense mode already, which will actually attract more reasons to be defensive, okay? Because why it's catching you off guard is because you're already expecting the worst. And when you're expecting the worst of other people, you attract more of the worst of other people. So think the best, expect best, and moving on to the third point, be a little bit more tolerant of other people and their reactions and their behaviors. That doesn't mean that you become the doormat that everyone can walk all over. It doesn't mean that you tolerate disrespect. Not at all, babe. We're not about that. We don't stand for that. And if you know me, then you know that I'm not allowing that. I am allergic to doormat behavior for my subscribers, for anyone within my unicorn army. But this is about actually understanding, hey, some people are not as emotionally intelligent as you. Let's just say it. Point blank period. Some people are not emotionally intelligent, and they will behave in ways that you don't understand. However, that does not need to affect you. That is not a reflection of who you are. That is a reflection of what they're dealing with. Don't take things as personally, okay? Step away from other people's reactions being something that actually gets to you, and focus on the fact that you can have empathy for them not seeing any other way to react to a situation other than being negative or complaining or getting mad at you. When you see it from a place of empathy, you actually start to feel bad for people not seeing any other way to deal with their emotions. And it makes you so grateful for the fact that you have done the healing, the work, and you have grown to a place in your life where you have other ways and outlets to deal with your emotions than letting it all out on another person, because you are emotionally intelligent, and that is such a huge gift and win in itself. Principle number 4 that you're going to want to apply every single day to be as successful as you can be is to practice the law of assumption. Any of you who have been in my space, in my ecosystem for a while, you will know the law of assumption, but for any of you who are new or need a refresher, the law of assumption is a universal law of manifestation in which you assume for the best, highest, most gracious things to happen to you, and because you're already assuming the best is going to happen, you end up attracting more of what? The best. Because the law of vibration, the law of frequency states that like attracts like, and similar frequencies attract one another. And in order to be attractive to good things to happen to you, you have to become the type of person that good results want to be around. Think about it. If you run a business and you're the type of business owner who shows up, you shake people's hands, your customer service is number one for you. You're not in it for the money. You're in it for being the absolute best. You're in it for changing people's lives. People are going to want to work with you because they can feel that you're already assuming that you can help them. You're already assuming that you are a great business owner. You're already assuming that you will be successful, so you're not hung up on money being the most important thing. The same goes for love. If you already assume that you will be respected and that you are going on a date with someone who values you, they will treat you very differently than if you go on that date with a victim mentality and a doormat type of energy and attitude that just shows that you feel, oh my God, I should be grateful that you're even here with me. I should be grateful that you even went on this date with me. The same person, even if the person you went on a date with is actually a kind person, but in one scenario, they will treat you better than in the other. And you can guess which scenario they'll treat you better in. Obviously, when you already assume to be the highest version of yourself, when you already assume to be the version of you that deserves nothing but respect and being treated with kindness. And this whole highest version of yourself, it sounds woo-woo, but when you actually connect with the fact that the highest version of you, what that means, aside from the woo-woo connotations and connections that we have with that word, is that actually you are just being elevated in every way. When you show up, you stand up straight. You've got a straight spine, straight back. You can look people in the eye, and you feel confident in your own body because you have nothing to feel insecure about. And when you assume that you are the type of person that wins, you just continue to win because you are starving negative assumptions. You're starving negative manifestations of holding any weight or power in your reality. And when you do so, basically what you are creating is a reality for yourself, a new personal reality that is only comprised of wins and positive manifestations that are creating the entire life that you desire, from your desired dream apartment to your dream car to your dream partner, husband, dream family life, dream body, dream wardrobe, dream job, dream everything, because you're only focused on assuming that why shouldn't it be you living that life? Because after all, other people are living those lives. That's why Pinterest boards exist. That's why all of these beautiful Instagram feeds are even real, because some people are doing it and you're simply assuming, why not you? And that brings us to the fifth and super important point here, which is that you will not act on anything pessimistic in your life. You will not act on anything that is rooted in not believing in yourself. Because when you do not act on any type of pessimistic emotion, like if you feel insecure about filming a YouTube video because you actually want to make social media your job, if you don't act on the pessimistic assumption that it won't work, then what will you do? You will act on the assumption that you think it will work. You will act on the assumption that, yeah, I can do this. And what will that do? That will attract more of your desired results, because the only way for you to be successful on the internet, in this space, or doing social media is you have to be visible. You have to even show up. Duh. The same principle holds true when you don't act in a negative way towards your body. Like if you are trying to eat healthier, build muscle, perhaps you want to be leaner, more shredded. If you don't act on the negative assumption that you anyways will never get there, or you anyways already messed up one meal, you ate a bunch of junk food, so you will just end the day on or the week continuing down that road. When you stop doing that, you actually reach your goals. Because guess what? Ladies who win, people who create their dream lives, we do not give in to pessimistic assumptions. We simply don't. If something happens that means that we have fallen off track, or something unexpected happens that seems like it's actually a detour from where we're trying to go, great, okay, noted, but that has nothing to do with where we're going. It's just like if you're driving somewhere and you have to stop for gas and it seems inconvenient, but no, you're just like, noted, my gas levels are low, I need to stop, I need to fuel, and then I keep going. And the same thing goes for you, quite literally speaking. If you feel like your motivation levels are low, or you don't have as much energy because you've just been working nonstop and you've been putting all of your energy into creating, you've been showing up, you've been working out, okay, perhaps your energy levels are low. Great, noted. You sit down for a day or a weekend, you read, you book a spa vacation or staycation, you go offline for a couple days or hours because that scientifically is proven to recharge you and allow you to regain focus and energy. Great, you do that. And then you show up again and you just keep going, because life isn't a sprint. Life is a marathon. And when you register that, and that there's no point of having any type of negative emotions towards things that seem to not be going well, because everything just is as it is. Nothing is good or bad. We have decided in society to say, okay, this is a great manifestation, this is a great concept, and this is bad, and this is not good. But actually everything just is. To life, it doesn't matter whether you get that job. To life, it doesn't matter whether your business takes off. Like, either it does or it doesn't. Life is not affected. Nature is not affected. Humanity is not affected. But you know who is affected? You are. So you might as well make sure that any way in which you affect yourself and your personal reality is through focusing on the positives. Because yeah, while the challenges exist, don't feed into the pessimism. Focus on the ways in which you showed up today, you woke up today, and you created, and you will fail your way to the top. Literally, even me just making this video, I could have thought to myself, you know what, I don't feel ready. I don't feel like I have the inspiration. I don't feel like anyone's gonna watch it. And there's so many other people out here who get way more views, who have way bigger channels. But why should I do that? If I even just inspire one person to step out of pessimism, if I even just inspire one person to implement these 8 little micro habits and make their life better, isn't that the whole goal? Isn't that how you get to success? Isn't that how you get to having millions of followers and hundreds of thousands of people whom you have helped, whose lives you've been able to touch? Isn't that how you get there? You have to keep showing up, and it's steps along the way. It's not 0 to a billion. Like, hasn't literally everybody that I look up to had to go through the exact same process? So why is this a negative thing and not something that we can just enjoy? So focus on enjoying the journey. Number 6 is a very quick, simple, and to the point one, and that is you focusing on smiling at least 3 times per day. Yes, 3 times per day, very consciously. Give yourself a moment to let the corners of your mouth curl upward and smile, my gorgeous soul. Smile and allow yourself to feel whole, to feel full, to feel content. Because when you smile, you are actually fooling your brain into thinking that you are happier than you probably are in that very moment. And I choose to always do this practice when something is happening that I actually want to feel annoyed by. For example, if my laptop decides to shut down while I'm editing a video and I lose some of the progress, it's like, I just want to scream. But actually what I do, as you can see through my reaction right now, I make it funny. I start laughing. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It is completely fine, because the fact that I even have a laptop and I'm fortunate enough to work with my dream clients, to have these dream communities, memberships I can show up in every single day. I can connect with people. I've got the internet. I can work from anywhere in the world. Man, I am so blessed. And all I can do is smile, because at the end of the day, as long as you don't stop going for what you desire, you are going to get it. The only way that you're not going to get it it as if you stop along the way. And that brings us to point number 7. Regardless of what happens, say to yourself, I will react as calmly as I can. Because have you ever noticed how the most successful people and also the most wealthy people, business owners especially, and I've seen this happen time and time again because I work very closely with some people who are wildly successful, and when they get a phone call from their team and their team is like, oh, this part of the business, there's a huge lawsuit coming towards you. This, and this has happened. What should we do? The teammate is freaking out. But the CEO is like, okay, I'll get back to you. They put down the phone and they're calm. It's like the more everyone else freaks out, the more calm the most successful people get because they need time to think. And they know that the only way that a solution will manifest itself is through calmness, is through being able to be immersed in thought. And so they remove themselves from acting impulsively, and instead they act with a calm demeanor, because that is a way in which you can not only improve your life, but you improve your business decisions tenfold. You improve the decisions you make in your personal life. Like when you hear the guy you've been talking to, the man you've been seeing has actually been texting some OnlyFans girl or something, be calm. Do not let it affect you negatively, because what you then do is you give the control of yourself to an external source. Because remember, if you do not allow yourself to be caught out of character and to go absolutely ballistic and crazy emotionally speaking because of what someone else does, that means you're keeping the control within your power. You're keeping all of the control to yourself. Which brings us to point number 8, and that is the fact that you will completely close off and ignore anything that seems like a fact but is a negative one. So a simple and pessimistic fact that you cannot change and that you should completely remove yourself from is, for example, if you invested $100,000 in a project, the project didn't come to fruition, now you lost $100,000 and you feel like a complete failure and you feel like you're not confident. What is fact and what is just thought, pessimism, and fiction? What is fact is that you lost $100,000. What is pessimism and fiction is that you are a failure, like you have now lost all of your confidence. Those are your thoughts. Those are thoughts that you can control. Those are thoughts that you don't even need to allow to exist. You don't have to continue feeding into those. That is your choice. And what winners do, what people who choose happiness do, because being happy, it is a thought pattern. It is a habit. It is something that you practice. And what people who are truly in a state of mind of winning and happiness do is that they differentiate between what is a fact and what is an embellished part of their thoughts. By completely ignoring things that you would otherwise mix up with the facts, like the $100,000 that you lost, and trying to make it a fact that you are now a failure, don't do that. Separate the two. If you need to, write it down in your journal. Literally, you guys, I don't go anywhere without my journal. I write down so many pages every single day of ideas, but also processing what is fact and what is just pessimistic fiction. That way you can begin to actually heal. You can begin to completely debunk what you thought to be a fact, which actually is just a habit pattern that hasn't been helpful. You consciously or unconsciously formed over the course of your life, but you are now choosing to work on and change. Because remember, the only thing that you do have control over is yourself, which is amazing because when you change your own thoughts, you change your own personal reality. Practice these 8 micro shifts every single day. Just make these little changes and see how within 21 days, your entire reality is going to be unrecognizable. Make sure you save this video or send it to a girlie who you know right now is struggling to see a positive outlook on her life. Because I promise you that when you learn to practice these habit shifts, life is never going to be the same in the absolute best way. My name is Vanessa Samina, and if you want to connect even more deeply with me, I've got 3 trainings below in the description box. They're completely free on the house. If you want to stay connected on other platforms, you can find my Instagram and my podcast below as well. You guys, I'm sending you all so much love from Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of our upcoming videos. Bye, guys.